Right, bro. This is the best way I've found to manage your weight. So there are going to be three types of people. The first type are people that can eat what they want, aren't very mindful of what they're eating, and kind of just maintain a good weight. So it might be their metabolism or their ability to moderate what they're eating intuitively, but they're not mindful, they're not really managing what they eat, and they just maintain a good weight, and it's not a problem for them. It's just not something that... It's like to the non-smoker, you don't think about not smoking. But to somebody who has smoked, quitting smoking and not smoking is a conscious effort. So group one are people that aren't conscious of it and they just eat intuitively. So that's probably not you. And then group two are people that tend to be overweight. So they tend to overeat and they have to manage their weight to get down to a healthy weight. So I fall under category two, and I have done for sort of quite a long time. And this is what got me into health and lifestyle changes. So group two are people that would always err on the side of overeating and gaining weight. So the goal for group two is to lose weight and get down to a healthy weight. And then group three, we'll call them athletes, but they're people that want to change their weight, but for just as goals. These are just people with goals. Now group two, the overweight person does have a goal, which is to lose weight, but that's more of a health thing. Group three are people that are choosing consciously a goal. So the people that are normally overweight, group two, it's not really a goal. It's not really a choice. You don't go, oh well, I'm fine being overweight, but I'm choosing my goal, which is to get down to a goal weight. You're just trying to be healthy. So it's a dysfunctional way of eating. So group one are intuitive eaters, they don't think about it. Group two are overweight and it's dysfunctional. Group three are people with goals that they've chosen. So that's not a dysfunctional thing. You could be, it's like my friend, he's a good weight, I don't know what he weighs at the moment, but his goal is to be heavier. He wants to build muscle and gain size. So that's not dysfunctional. It's not like he's bulimic or anorexic, the people that aren't heavy enough and he wants to gain weight. No, he's just set a goal. As an athlete, he wants to go to the gym, build muscle and gain weight. And like me now, I would put myself, I was in category two. I was overweight and it was a dysfunctional behaviour. I was addicted to food and I couldn't moderate what I was eating. So I had to be mindful of it and I got down to a certain weight. Now I'm at a goal weight, or I'm at a healthy weight. My goal now could be to gain muscle or lose fat, but it's more of a goal, not a health requirement. This isn't because I'm massively unhealthy. I'm actually at a weight now that I'm happy with, so now it's a choice. It's not a dysfunction thing. So there are the three categories. Category one doesn't actually moderate what they're eating, so we won't talk about that. But if you're in either category two, the overweight person, or just somebody with a goal, then you need to know how to manipulate your weight. And the simplest way, or the most effective way I've found to doing this, is weigh yourself every day. And you want to do this as soon as you wake up, go to the toilet and do this before eating or drinking anything. So you've been asleep all night, you've had all night to digest your food, you go to the toilet and then you weigh yourself. So I would either write this on the calendar or have a notepad for tracking calories, and you write down a couple of other things including your weight. So first thing, empty, weigh yourself, write your weight down. Then track your calories for the day, and if you're on a carnivore diet, this is very simple because you're eating the same things every day. I just know off the top of my head that a 500 gram pack of 20% beef mince is 1,240 calories. So if I eat half of that pack, which is 250 grams, that's 620 calories. Or a quarter of the pack, so this would be one burger, is 310 calories, for example. So when you're on carnivore, this makes it a lot easier, but you'll get to know the foods you eat regularly, and tracking calories, it seems like a ball ache to start with, but it's not actually that bad. When you're eating very similar foods, you just know, oh, a banana's 100 calories, I'll write that down. So track your calories for the day, and then tomorrow, weigh yourself at the same time. You've just woken up, haven't drunk anything, just been to the toilet, so you're empty. Weigh yourself. Now this is the only, you don't have to do this for a week. There are other methods where you can do this for a week and even it out over the week, but this gives you real time feedback on what you're eating. So I did this yesterday. I weighed myself. I was 171 pounds. Track my calories. The total calories were 2,440 for the day. I weighed myself this morning and I was 169 pounds. So I'm 2 pounds lighter than I was yesterday. So 2,440 calories is a deficit for me. So when you track your calories, you write down the date, the times you're eating each meal, how many calories, the weight for that morning, and I write down what kind of exercise I did. So yesterday I did walking for 30 minutes. I didn't go to the gym, but if I did, I would write that down. Or if I did a sea swim, I would write that down because the cold water exposure burns body fat. So that's it. And I would do this, implement this as a habit, and I kind of come and go out of doing this, and I've just started re-implementing it. That's why I'm talking about it, and it's something that I'm going to instill. And you don't have to do this all the time, but it's just a good habit. So you'll find if you naturally are in group 2, you err on the side of being overweight, this habit will help you lose weight. They say anything you track improves. So just by tracking it, you will think, I don't like seeing the weight go up. So you just tend to improve things that you keep an eye on, and out of sight, out of mind. So if you're not tracking this stuff, it's easy to just, people that weigh themselves every week or like every Sunday, a lot can happen in a week. I could put on a stone in a week. I did a 9-day fast and lost a stone in 9 days. So your weight can fluctuate a lot, but daily you mitigate any big. So you wake up in the morning, weigh yourself, write that in your notepad, count calories for the day, write the total, and write down any activity you did for that day. So I now know from yesterday that I lost 2 pounds overnight on 2,440 calories with 30 minutes of walking as my exercise. So that's my baseline. Now, and every day you do this, you get more and more information. So today, because I lost 2 pounds, that's quite a lot to lose overnight. That's a big deficit. So today, I'm eating basically the same as what I ate yesterday, but I'm adding a steak as well, so the calories are going to be slightly higher. I'll weigh myself tomorrow. I'll know the calories. They'll probably be around 3,000 calories, which is more than I ate yesterday. If I'm still lighter than the previous day, I'm still in a deficit. And this is a better way of doing it than just using a BMR calculator, a basal metabolic rate calculator, because it seems to me what you eat determines how calories are used in your body. So I could eat 2,400 calories with loads of fruit in my diet, with carbs, glucose, and I wouldn't have lost 2 pounds overnight. But on a strict carnivore diet, because you're in ketosis, you lose 2 pounds overnight because your body is using stored body fat. It's not storing the food as stored body fat. So that's the difference, and that's why this method I've found to be the best, because you get real-time feedback. Every day you can recalibrate and you can go, oh, I'm 1 pound heavier. My goal is to lose weight, so I need to reduce the calories. Or I'm 1 pound lighter. And you can adjust accordingly. And it's also giving you feedback on how you're storing the food. So I've had days where I eat about 4,000 calories of meat and I still don't gain weight. Now my maintenance calories is not 4,000 according to a BMR calculator. But that isn't the only thing at play. If you get good sleep, you might burn more fat. You know, there's loads of different things. Your age, your gender, how much exercise you're doing, all these things play in, and this system takes that into account. So that's the method. If you look at my community post, I've just started posting pictures of my notepad, which has the date, what I'm eating, the amount of calories in the meals, the total calories for the day, and the weight for that day, and the exercise. So it just shows the format that I use. So if you're category 2 and you're overweight, if you do this for a while, you'll have to do this consistently for 6 months to a year. Then you'll get down, by doing this, you'll get down to your goal weight. Then you'll find you just don't do it a couple of days and you don't massively go off the rails. It's not like as soon as you stop doing this, you gain 10 pounds and you're overweight again. Because this instills a knowledge of how many calories are in food. You're actually mindful of the energy that food's given you. It gives you an insight onto how your weight fluctuates from day to day. And you stop being emotional about the weight on the scales. Because you're weighing yourself every day, you just go, oh, I'm £2 heavier than yesterday. £2 is not a big deal. You can lose that the next day. But if you weigh once a week, you can put on like £7 in a week, and now you're depressed, now you're sad, and you feel like, oh, if I fast for a week that would bring it back, and you start yo-yoing all over the place. So this is the best way. Weigh yourself every day, count calories every day, track activity every day, and you'll start to intuitively know. And then after a while, and the reason I'm mentioning this now is because it's something I'm adding back in. I used that tool to lose weight. I was £200, now I'm £170. And I intuitively now, I stick at £170. I can binge eat rubbish and I just naturally compensate. I don't even need to weigh or track calories. I just stay at £170. But now my goal is to reduce that down a bit more. So I'm focusing back on it again. And you can add this in as like, if you have your goal, so if you're category 3 and you say, right, I've got a goal now, which is to build muscle or lose weight, lose body fat, then you start doing the habit again. Or if you're category 2 and you just need to drop the weight. So that's what I've found works for me. And I don't think it's unhealthy to weigh yourself every day. People say, oh, you get obsessed with the weight and your calories, tracking calories. But if you was going to fuel up a car, people track how many litres or how much money they put in their car. Like it just makes sense to know what your body needs to run on and how much food you're eating. Because if your body needs 2,000 calories a day and you're eating 3,000, it just doesn't make any sense. So if you're going to have a human body, this avatar body, you might as well figure out the basics of how much food does it need to run. So I hope that helps. Let me know how you do it. Do you just use a BMR calculator and follow that number? Do you weigh once a week? What works for you? And let me know if you try this, if it works. So I'm actually pretty happy with my weight at the moment. £170 is quite a comfortable fighting weight for me to just sit at. I could be this weight comfortably. I feel good. I feel like I look good at this weight. But I do have a body fat percentage goal, and it's 12% body fat, and I think I'm at about 16% at the moment. So this might not be the best method. This is good to reduce weight. So if you're overweight or you're trying to build muscle, these are going to be beneficial. But it might not be the best method, so I might do another video where tracking body fat percentage, I mean that makes sense, track the thing you're trying to improve, but my body fat percentage on my scales that I use isn't that accurate. So I think the best way of doing it is just going to be reduce weight down to 160 or 155 pounds while maintaining muscle, the muscle I have now, and I should be at 12% body fat. And then from there, I'll build back up to 170 pounds at that same body fat percentage. So I'll build muscle but not increase the fat. So that's the only reason I'm back on this again. And I'll just continue to do it because it's good to... I kind of go strict and then eat kind of what I want, get complacent, but I know I'll just maintain 170 pounds, but my body composition isn't improving. Because sometimes I'll gain fat and then gain a bit of muscle. It's a bit all over the place, but now I'm going to implement some goals. I want to start focusing on health again. And it's been a good thing because I'm comfortable with my weight now. Because I was overweight for so long, you know how it feels to be overweight and uncomfortable. But now I'm comfortable with my weight. The freedom of just kind of being able to eat, not what you want, but you kind of get back into group 1. I don't have to be conscious of it all the time. I don't have to think, I really want to eat that burger, but I can't. Sometimes I can, and the weight's not a problem. And it's nice to do that for a bit, because when you've had an addiction and a problem with something, just to chill out and not think about it all the time is good. And then you kind of think, no, I've got goals, I want to get back on it. So that's the plan going forward, is to get the 12% body fat and then maintain 12% body fat, because if I'm at 16 now, I can maintain this pretty good. So we're going to get down to 12% using this method again. You have to be conscious then once you're down at that weight, once you maintain a certain body fat for long enough, you don't have to be conscious of it again. So I hope that makes sense. You can kind of flip-flop between, I have to focus on this thing to get the outcome, then once you're there, you don't have to be mindful of it again. So you jump between those three categories, and you might fall off the wagon or have some stressful life event which throws you back into category 2, which is the overweight person who's using food as a stress management thing, and then you need to get back on it to reduce the weight down. But at the moment, I was in group 1, which is not mindful of food. Now I'm putting myself into group 3, which is I'm going to set a goal and use this method to achieve the goal. And then once I've achieved the goal, which is 12% body fat, I'll continue to use this method to get to my next goal, which is 12% body fat at 170 pounds. Then I'll go into group 1, which is maintain 12% body fat at 170 pounds without having to focus on food all the time. So I just thought I'd share that because it shows why you'd use this method and why you would avoid using it. If you're just in group 1, then you don't even need to do it.